João Palhinha's name might not be the flashiest in football, but anyone who's watched Premier League football recently knows the kind of impact he can have. Think of him as the kind of player who flies under the radar until you realise, wait, this guy is everywhere. A defensive midfielder who does the dirty work, breaking up attacks, winning tackles, dominating aerial duels, the very stuff that lets creative players do their magic in front of goal.
Palhinha! Powerfully perfect. Well, what a strike that is from Palhinha.
Palhinha lit up Fulham during his 2 seasons there, absolutely owning the midfield with numbers that had fans and analysts alike taking notice. But then he moved to Bayern Munich, and well, let's just say he hasn't been the fairy tale many hoped for.
Move from Bayern Munich to Spurs. Spurs, of course, desperate for someone to take control of that midfield. It's where they were exposed so much last season.
Now, with Spurs reportedly knocking on the door, the big question is, what kind of player is Palhinha really at this stage of his career? And how does he fit into Tottenham's current and future plans? This isn't just about stats or transfer fees, it's about style, adaptability.
João Palhinha powers in the header.
Age and the grind of modern football. We're diving deep into Palhinha's journey, his strengths, his struggles, and what Tottenham might be getting into if they pull the trigger. Palhinha's time at Fulham was nothing short of spectacular. When you talk about midfield enforcers in the Premier League these days, his name pops up alongside the best. Just take his tackling stats. In the 2023-24 season, Palhinha led the entire Premier League with 152 tackles, winning 75 of them. Think about that. Out of all the world-class midfielders in one of the toughest leagues on the planet, this guy put in the hardest shift in terms of winning the ball back. That's the kind of consistency and commitment that can frustrate even the slickest attackers. And it's not just the tackles. Palhinha's aerial dominance is something that's easy to overlook, but massively important. With a 56% success rate in aerial duels, he was just below Manchester City's Rodri, 69%, and West Ham's Thomas Soucek, 57%, 2 players known for their physicality and ability to command the midfield. For a guy who's not primarily known for flair, controlling the air battles is a huge advantage, especially in the Premier League, where set pieces can change games. He's also ranked 3rd in the league for overall duels won in 2023-24, with 259. That's a sign of a player who's everywhere on the pitch, challenging, intercepting, disrupting. And it's those kind of numbers that help explain why Fulham could hold their own and secure mid-table finishes during his time there. His interception stats tell a similar story. Palhinha's reading of the game was exceptional. He had the kind of awareness that lets him break up dangerous plays before they even develop. That anticipation, paired with physicality, made him one of the most feared midfielders for opposing attackers. And here's the fun thing to think about. He did all of this while rarely grabbing the headlines or scoring flashy goals. Defensive midfielders, like Palhinha, often fly under the radar, but they're the backbone of any successful team. Remember, while strikers and playmakers get the glory, it's players like Palhinha who make sure the game doesn't fall apart. But, of course, all this intensity and physicality take a toll on the body. Football isn't kind to players who constantly battle in the trenches. That leads us to the next chapter in his career, his move to Bayern. The summer of 2024 saw Palhinha take a big step, joining Bayern Munich for a hefty €51 million plus add-ons. For any player moving to a club of Bayern's stature, it's both a massive honor and a huge challenge. Expectations skyrocket, the competition for places intensifies, and the style of play can be dramatically different. Bayern's football is about precision, slick passing, and quick transitions, the kind of game where midfielders need to be technically sharp and able to adapt on the fly. Palhinha, meanwhile, is a bulldog, rugged, tenacious, and reliant on his physicality. It didn't take long for fans and analysts to realize that the fit wasn't perfect. Palhinha struggled for minutes under coach Vincent Kompany, appearing in just 25 competitive matches and starting only 6 Bundesliga matches, 11 in all competitions, in the 2024-25 season. The injury to his muscles sidelined him for 11 crucial matches during the peak months, robbing him of valuable playing time and disrupting any rhythm he might have been building. His defensive stats dropped noticeably compared to his time at Fulham, a clear sign that something wasn't clicking. The combination of tactical mismatch, injury troubles, and fierce competition meant Bayern was willing to let him go after just one season, reportedly for half the price they paid, around 25 to 30 million euros. In football, sometimes talent isn't enough, you need the right environment, the right system, and a bit of luck to really thrive. Bayern, with their ultra-modern, possession-focused style, just wasn't the right home for Palhinha's particular skill set. Fast forward to today, and Tottenham Hotspur's interest in Palhinha is grabbing headlines. Spurs have been a club in transition, especially in midfield, struggling to find the balance between flair and steel. Thomas Frank, the new Spurs manager, brings a pragmatic style that could be perfect for Palhinha. Unlike the relentless high-energy pressing system of former coach Ange Postecoglou, who demanded near Olympic fitness levels and constant movement, Frank's approach is more measured. It emphasizes structured defending, smart pressing at key moments, and solid positioning. Palhinha's strengths align perfectly with this philosophy. He's a player who thrives in a defined role, breaking up play, winning duels, providing a stable base for teammates to build attacks. No fancy tricks, no flashy flair, just pure, effective defensive work. This is the kind of player Frank loves. At Brentford, he built his team around players who could execute tactical discipline and physical battles, not just dazzling on the ball. Adding Palhinha to Spurs would beef up their defensive midfield, offering a reliable shield in front of the backline. His leadership and Premier League experience, it means he can slot in quickly, helping a squad that desperately needs calm, composure, and grit. 25 to 30 million euros for a 30-year-old defensive midfielder may raise eyebrows. In an era where clubs obsess over youth potential and resale value, Palhinha is a bit of a throwback, a seasoned pro bringing immediate value, but not the decades ahead. Sure, some will say Spurs are buying short-term security rather than long-term promise, and those concerns are not baseless. Palhinha's injury history, particularly the muscle strain that cost him 11 games last season, is a red flag. The Premier League is brutal on bodies, especially in a role demanding high physical intensity. But here's the flip side. His Premier League experience is gold. He knows the pace, the physicality, and the tactical demands better than almost any other available defensive midfielder. That kind of know-how is invaluable for a Spurs team eager to stabilize and compete. Managing his fitness will be critical. Spurs will need to rotate intelligently, balancing his playing time so he remains effective without overloading his body. And let's be honest, in today's market, 25 to 30 million euros for a proven Premier League enforcer isn't a bad deal at all, especially one who can bring immediate impact rather than waiting for years to develop. Let's put Palhinha side by side with Spurs' current midfield options. He's a different beast compared to Yves Bissouma. Bissouma is more about ball progression, passing range, and linking play. Palhinha, he's the midfield bouncer, the guy who ensures the attackers get space by breaking up the other team's rhythm. His aerial dominance alone gives Spurs an edge in midfield battles. In tight games where set pieces and second balls matter, having a 6'3", 1.9-meter presence like Palhinha can tilt the balance. His leadership qualities also can't be overstated. Midfield is as much about communication and organizing as it is about tackles and interceptions, and Palhinha brings that voice on the pitch. So, where does this leave us? Palhinha isn't flawless, the age and injury concerns are real, but his Premier League track record and fit under Thomas Frank's system point to a potentially very smart acquisition. If Spurs can manage his workload, use him in the right moments, and pair him with dynamic, energetic midfield partners, he could be the missing puzzle piece to make their midfield more solid and competitive. For a club that just survived a nail-biting season and desperately needs stability, Palhinha might not be a glamorous signing, but it could be exactly what they need. Is João Palhinha the rugged enforcer Tottenham have been waiting for? Or is this just a stopgap move that won't stand the test of time? And how much did Bayern's style affect his performance? Or was it just unlucky timing and injuries? Drop your thoughts below, because when it comes to these tactical puzzles, everyone's got an opinion.